Zigzagoon, I choose you!
Holy crap, what the hell is wrong with your Zigzagoon?
It's from the Galar region. It says a different form of it.
I've never heard of this goddamn Galar region, but what the hell did they do to their poor Zigzagoon over there?
Well, I'll be honest. It's sort of... There's no vaccine for rabies, so it's sort of... Yeah, it's contracting rabies.
Couldn't you just, gotten the vaccine from another country? Look at the poor thing. It's foaming at the mouth and its tongue's constantly sticking out. What?
I'll be honest, the delivery from the Holland region is really expensive, so it wasn't really an option.
Look, I get it, UPS airfare and all that, but holy crap, get that animal some help.
Yeah, I know it needs help, but look on the bright side. Look what it turned into. It's really cool. Its name's Obstagoon, and it can play a guitar really good.
But all it does is fold its arms. How the hell does it play a guitar?
It unfolds its arms and picks up a guitar.
You're kidding me. Anything, what?
Yeah, well, check out this.
Okay, this is really stressing me out.
It's alright, dude. Have a puff of my wheezing. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast, backed by 120 Power Star rating, and the doors to episode 111 are open. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my very wonderful mate. It's Bryce DeWitt.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Bryce.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks, man.
That's good. Thank you for calling me your mate. That's very nice of you.
I know, it was nice, man. That's a real stretch. Real stretch.
Wow. Okay. Yep. All right.
Would you say we're mates? Am I your mate?
No, you're a business partner, and anything else
Business
you could
partner.
fuck up for.
Oh. Oh. Business partner.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Really puts a deft tone on this episode, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So this week we're pretty much discussing just Pokemon. So there was a trailer, announced a few things. It's only a 2-minute trailer. I was expecting like a 5-minute live stream or a 10-minute live stream. I think most people were, but there was sort of a lot of information packed in just 2 minutes.
And
the Japanese trailer was also 3 minutes, but there was only like one extra thing. But so we're going to talk about that. I think just to start off, I think we're pretty positive with what we saw with this trailer. I think they, I think with the designs they've shown us and everything, I think they pretty much nailed it, and the sort of reception across the internet seems pretty positive.
Yep.
So, Bryce, you have it up on your brand new laptop, which you got.
Yes. It's beautiful.
If anyone listened to Kraken Furfies, which is up on patreon.com/iDrewby, you would have heard about Bryce's frustrations of the Australia Post sort of service, but he got it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
It come, but I didn't find out until literally, again, a couple of hours before it was coming. And I had to go to work.
You did.
And Jade was in Mount Gambier, so I had to get Barry to stop around and wait for it for me.
No, well, you got it. It's good. It's in your hands.
Yeah, I got it. But the problem was that they would have carted it back to Mount Gambier because the way the box was wrapped up, they were like, no, you can't leave it. This has to stay in your hands. Had a notice on it.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
which is fair enough because you don't want to leave that type of thing. Yeah,
no, but still, it was just like, then I'd have to travel 50 kilometers just to go get it, and then 50 kilometers back just to get home. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
beside that,
you got it. You got his laptop.
That's exactly right. The laptop is here, and I have Pokemon news on it. So there we go.
Yay!
So I'm just going to pretty much outline it.
Mm-hmm. Do it, man.
So in the trailer, we got some new characters through Bade and Marnie, who are supposed to be rivals as such. Bade's sort of very, very sneery. Looks like he's up to some sort of shit like Silver was type of deal.
Yeah.
I don't know how far that's going to go into that, but it's a good thing we're not just seeing it's the positive crew like it was in Sun and Moon. There wasn't really, anything under that. And then the other rival is Marnie, who is the poster girl for a new evil team called Team Yell.
Team Yell. Yeah.
I mean, they're really trying to set in the punk rock vibe going with this, and I don't know how much Marnie has involvement with this team, but the only thing this team exists for is basically to be Marnie's fan crew,
which is cool.
Yeah. Which it's a bit odd. I guess it's sort of like a social construct thing of how one person can being idle to like hundreds of thousands of people sort of thing nowadays.
Yeah, and like what this region is all set up to do as well. Like you've got, the champion Leon and everything people look up to. You've got like celebrities in this world. Yeah. Whereas the Pokemon sort of series hasn't really had that. You've had like the Elite Four gym leaders and that, but as like actual like, I guess characters more similar to pop idols. It's cool that we're sort of seeing that in this and having a new take on what a bad team could be.
Yeah.
And also, like, just at face value, maybe this team won't be all about taking over the world, catching the box legendary so you can take over time and all that stuff.
No, a lot of this this team and a lot of people are speculating is that they're pretty much going to be like a Team Skull type of crew. And I mean, like, Team Skull was great.
Yeah, they were.
I don't think anybody has a complaint with Team Skull. If you have like a metric ton of complaints about Sun and Moon, I highly doubt you have a complaint about Team Skull. Team Skull was great. It was great comedic relief. They had like a nice little backstory, and you got to visit the town that they took over, which is essentially their base and all that stuff. And yeah, it was like a really good time. I love Team Skull. I thought they were like one of the best teams in a very long time. Obviously, probably since the Plasma situation between Plasma and Neoplasma, etc. So yeah, apart from that, we also got some viewings on Galarian forms, which is going to be like a bulk of this episode. So we got Galarian wheezing. So
yes,
I'm assuming there'll probably be a Galarian coughing as well to some degree, maybe.
Probably. In the past, like there were Pokemon that just had normal forms and just then it evolved into a regional form, like Cubone didn't have a form, but evolved into Alolan Marowak. So it might be a similar situation, but maybe not.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll see.
You would have thought they would have announced them together, maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're.
I'm just on the thinking of like a Alolan Grimer.
Yeah.
I think like it's probably not as important as like the following one that was announced, because it's just another Gen 1 poison type that's got a new form, I guess. But I will say I love this one, and it's one of my favorite regional variants.
Very well done. It's very funny. It's very it's very well done.
It's spot on.
Spot on. Yeah.
It's spot on. Yeah. So if you didn't catch the reference, which you probably should have. Anyway, because it's not really that hard to point out.
If you haven't seen the Pokemon trailer, it's a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, go watch it.
Go and watch it, yeah.
Yeah, but like if you didn't catch the reference when looking at it, it's like based off of the English Industrial Revolution. And he's got like a big old chimney hat on both his heads, and he's got like smog-made moustaches and stuff. He's supposed to look like that big industry titan that was like from back in those days. It's
going to be strong too. So it's a poison fairy.
Yeah,
and it's got levitate.
Yeah, that's right.
It's gonna be something.
Yeah, it's gonna be hell of a tank.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but it certainly looks interesting, and I kind of want one on my team.
Yeah.
It looks super awesome, and I do like. I want to preface the fact that I love the fact that they are keeping regional variants, because I do like regional variants.
Yeah, I think regional variants, that should be a thing that doesn't go away.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Oh yeah, because it's just a new take on a Pokemon that you've already,
and they are struggling with like bringing out 100 new Pokemon each generation as well.
Yeah.
So like this is an easier way to be like, all right, there's not 1,000 Pokemon, but there is
regional variants
that kind of makes 1,000 Pokemon, but isn't really. Technically, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just like the aesthetic of some of them. I think is like the biggest thing. And this one is like a true testament to that. I think a Galarian wheezing is probably like one of my favorite alternate.
I got to get used to saying that as well, because I'm used to saying Alolan.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure we'll adjust to it as time goes on. But there was also Galarian Zigzagoon line, which is interesting because it goes from just a flat normal type to dark normal all the way through, but it also gets its own, what is presumably its own unique evolution in comparison to the normal Zigzagoon line, which is, God, what was its name?
Obstagoon.
Obstagoon, that's right. Because, it was based on movement patterns, so zigzagging, line, and then obstacle. Yeah, so Obstagoon, yeah. That's correct. So
just working it out on the fly. Yeah. Oh, right.
I mean, yeah, no, I figured it out last night, but still. And this is like heavily based. This is also like heavily based on like the punk rock sort of vibe, and this is clearly going to be like Team Yell's poster Pokemon.
Yeah,
all the grunts use, stuff like that. And a lot of people love this design simply because it's like a big old Kiss reference.
Yeah. Just the ways. Like, I thought Kiss straight away as well, but Kiss like not being a British band, does that really matter or?
No, it doesn't. It's an attribution to punk rock. In general,
which is very British.
Which is very, very British. Obviously, like Kiss is not the most punk rock type of band, but it was one of the obvious loudest voices across like the rock sort of genre.
One of the easiest to like just instantly recognize.
Yeah, just be like, oh look, it's Gene Simmons goon.
Their iconography was just spot on, just with like everything with the tongue out and all that.
Like, for sure.
All of these evolutions got the tongue out, got like the sort of like black around their eyes, which Zigzagoon had anyway.
They just made it a little bit more fierce, I guess, to fit the rock vibe. So, I mean, it's interesting that. It's a little bit concerning and interesting at the same time that Obstagoon seems to be, at this point, exclusive to only Galarian form.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've read a lot of comments over the internet that are just like, does this mean that normal Linoon's getting evolution? And I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I think what you said before the show was pretty accurate. It's adapted to its harsh environment, and therefore it's grown stronger. It's found a new way to... move up.
Do you want me to read the Pokemon.com's description?
Yeah, go for it.
So we've got the Liloon of the Galar region live in harsh conditions compared to those found in other regions, with a fierce competition against others of their species. Their survival instincts have been honed as a result, leading to their evolution to Obstagoon. Though Obstagoon is extremely combative, it seems that it doesn't often launch the first attack. It will taunt an opponent, gloating into attacking. When it does, Obstagoon will cross its arms and meet the oncoming attack with an obstruct move. So I guess the idea is that living in the Galar region is a lot more harsh on Zigzagoon, and it sort of turned it into what it is, and because of that, it's made it. I guess it's forced this form into evolving again and getting stronger. Yeah, which is that's what I love about sort of. Regional forms is that you can really change a Pokemon and like its like behavior and its look and its moves and give you a bit of a choice if you really like that certain species. Yeah. And I guess it is a bit sad, like if I really love Zigzagoon. When I saw that Zigzagoon was getting a new form, new evolution, I was like, yes, this is awesome. Because it's just so cute. It was one of my first Pokemon in the whole one region, and quite often when I played through Ruby Sapphire and all that, his pickup ability, so I could pick stuff up early game. I always got one called it Ziggy. Just like really, I'm just really happy there's a new form. Yeah, but it does make the old one redundant going forward. Yeah, it doesn't. Like Liloon, it wasn't a competitive Pokemon anyway. No one really used it. Kind of like what happened with Alolan Persian. It's like almost exactly the same thing, except Alolan Persian is like, dear Lord, looking at its design. Yeah, it looks pretty silly. Yeah, it looks ridiculously silly. It's just got the fattest face. It looks like it's been stung by 2 bees in the cheeks, and probably a hive of bees. Yeah, yeah. Because Alolan Meowth, he looks really cool. Everyone's like, wow, awesome. It's a very suave Meowth. Yeah, yeah. Then it just evolves. It doesn't even look suave. He just got a round head. It just got really fat. Yeah, yeah. No, they missed the mark on that design. I feel they really did. Yeah, but that's not the case with these ones. I think this Zigzagoon line looks very appealing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like in comparison, I feel like it'll be something to keep an eye on, see how it goes in like maybe competitive stances and all that. Obviously, normal dark is not the most amazing typing on the planet. It's double weak to fighting. It's 4 times weak to fighting. Yeah, double weak. Yeah. So. Yeah, same thing, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, if you're weak to fighting, it's already 2 times effective. If you're double weak to fighting, then it's 4 times. Yeah, I just go off that. Yeah, double weak. So use the right terminology, Bryce. Come on. Shut up. That is technically the right terminology. Leave me alone. So
it'll be interesting to see, because a lot of people are just like, oh, this thing's going to sweep. And obviously it's not, judging by its description.
It's going to be a slower Pokemon.
It's going to be a slower Pokemon. It's not going to be a fast one.
Yeah. Its category is blocking Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's probably going to be more defense.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be more
like
defensive oriented.
It's going to hold its ground, and then it's going to
probably have
there.
high defense, high attack, I feel. Low speed. Pretty subpar special defense sort of deal. Yeah. Whereas Weezing's sort of the same as well. Weezing has always been a tankier sort of Pokemon that's been focused on like having Toxic out and having that type of thing going, while also being a nice little wall, being poison typing. It's like pretty decent against like a majority of typings.
I haven't actually read the description yet, so I'll read it live on the air for Weezing.
Yep.
So Galarian Weezing
found its success in the industrial industry.
In their 1680 whatever.
Yeah.
Galarian Weezing consumes polluted air and poisonous gases for substance. The air and gases absorbed will have toxins removed before being spewed out again from the tops of Weezing's heads. Apparently the air produced through this purification process is very clean. So it's very different Weezing. It's a clean Weezing.
Yeah.
The toxins accumulated within Weezing's body form into concentrated poison gas clouds that leak out and drift around it. This gas is also potent, and even a whiff is enough to stun and immobilize an opponent. It is Weezing's best weapon during battles. So that's pretty cool. So basically, yeah, it's a clean Weezing.
Yeah.
Which still looks very dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's Weezing.
I don't know how a ball of gas with chimneys on its head purifies it, but here we are. It's a fairy type. It can do anything at once.
Yeah,
it's magic.
Air filtration, I guess it's a thing. I guess he's a big old air filtrator. Anyway, but there was also one Pokemon put in there that's completely brand new to the eye.
Yes.
And that is Morpeko. So if you've ever wanted like a true hamster in Pokemon, this is probably it.
Yes, another Pikachu clone.
Yeah, it's another Pikachu clone
with a twist.
With a twist, yes. It's another Pikachu clone, so on the same lines of Pachirisu, Dedenne, Togedemaru, or however you pronounce it. That one always gets me. And it has two forms.
It does.
So
the girlfriend form.
Jesus Christ. So Morpeko has two forms. One is full belly mode, which is where it's all happy and it's quite quaint, and its signature move, which is Aura Wheel, I believe. I think that's what it's called. Is electric based, but if it is hungry, it goes into hangry mode.
I love this.
It goes into hangry mode, which, by the way, yes, by the Oxford Dictionary standards, is now an official word. I had to check it up.
It is it?
Yeah, apparently it is. I mean, we've obviously known about hangry for many years, but apparently in 2018 February, it was made an actual thing, hangry. So they're actually technically using this correctly. So
just put a pause on that. Do you get hangry? When you're hungry, do you get angry?
Not really.
I don't either.
I just get upset and want to eat.
Because literally with Chantel, sometimes she'll be like, "All right, like I'm hungry. All right, I'll organise food and
Oh, it definitely happens with Jade.
Yeah, in 15 minutes I'll organise some food. I've got to finish this.
Yep.
And then it slowly just progresses where she's like angry with me. I'm like, what?
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. I don't know. And I sort of asked this morning because I showed her, oh, Chantel, they made a Pokemon on you, based on you. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, it's a little rodent. She's like, what? No, I'm joking. And I showed her what it is. She's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I asked her. I said, why do you get hangry? Because I don't understand it myself.
No,
she just said, then she's just like, oh, I get stressed and I'm getting hungry. I'm like, oh well.
Being hungry just makes me want to eat. It doesn't make me emotional. It just makes me want to eat food.
Yeah, when I'm hungry, I just get up and eat. I don't know why. I don't get angry.
Yeah. I mean, we got plenty of ways to eat in this modern world. It's like we're not living in like the 1400s anymore, where you had to go hunt a rabbit. It's like, oh, I'm feeling hungry. I better pick up my bow and go shoot a rabbit and skin it. And
you know what? Maybe that's it. Maybe back in the caveman days, like real primal.
Jesus,
So you're hungry, your stomach's rumbling, and you're like, and that anger sort of gets your adrenaline up to like go and hunt. Like, oh, that's it. I'm hungry. Where's a deer?
Actually, I've been more thinking that it's the act of like being hungry. You go to hunt and then you can't fucking hit your target, so you get angry.
Yeah,
because you're hungry and you can't hit your target, so you can't eat.
and sort of the evolution of that is just like, I'm hungry. You sit there. I'm getting angry.
Yeah. But nowadays, the act of hunting is taking money from your wallet and throwing it at things. And I guess it's like just based on your motivation, whether you can actually hit your target.
For a lot of people, it's just like pick up phone, Uber Eats.
Yeah, especially in the cities.
You don't have to get cash out. You don't have to get your card out.
Like here, nothing does deliveries. We actually have to, well, except for the pizza place, maybe.
Yeah, pizza places, yeah.
That's it. So, like, if you want a fish and chips, bad luck, boy, you're going to have to go down to the shop, right? Like,
yeah.
You can order it on the phone, but you're going to have to move your ass. So, I mean, I don't, like, if I've got something I've got to finish, I want to do that first. So, when I leave and go out, I don't have to come back and get back into finishing it again. I want to be able to finish it and eat my food.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I don't know why we've gone on this tangent about Morpeko, but
It's just sort of understanding the concept of hungry.
Yeah, hangry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but its signature move anyway. When it's full belly, it's electric. When it is hangry, it is dark. So it's effectively a switching type move akin to conversion or like the Arceus plates and all that stuff, but it can happen in battle. Yeah,
there's a hidden ability Greninja can get as well. I can't quite remember.
I've
forgotten.
Wait, no, but that changes his typing.
Yeah.
So if he uses a move that's like dark or fairy or something like that, it'll change him to that type, and then
which is really cool.
It is really good. And there was a reason people were hunting the shit out of Froakies, like in the Friends of Ari.
Yeah, because I got one through just like a Wonder Trade.
Yep.
I got Wonder Trade with them. Oh, sweet. So I just used it throughout the game. God, it was amazing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because, I mean, you can just get yourself out of any sticky situation. So, as for, like, character and Pokemon reveals, that's pretty much it. So, just a quick re-summary. They've got 2 new rivals, Bade and Marnie, Team Yell, who are the big fans of Marnie, which, again, sort of has that Team Skull vibe. Probably means that someone else that we've already seen is probably a bad guy. So,
do you have any sort of guesses who that might be?
The chairman.
Yeah.
The chairman and that very sneery-looking woman. I can't remember her name.
There's a rumor as well, but like the chairman, he's not the bad one, but like the sort of secretary, she's the one planning.
Yeah,
things.
that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's possible. Yeah, she could be like trying to overthrow.
Yeah,
like the thing.
There's definitely going to be something going on with the league.
For sure. Yeah.
And Team Yell's just like, the supporters or whatever. They're not doing the big sinister thing.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
We also have Galarian forms of Weezing and the Zigzagoon line, and also a new Pokemon called Morpeko. So that's pretty much everything in terms of like characters and all that was released in the 2-minute trailer. There was also some information on a new system called Pokejobs. That's right. So, let me see. Here is a quote that was left with the information. The Pokemon you send out will help out with the job, and experience will help them grow, the official Pokemon website reads. There are many different Pokejobs available. You'll find that certain Pokemon types are suited for specific jobs too. Helping out for a long time or sending as many Pokemon as you can on a job can also net some good results. You might even receive some rare items. So, this leads me to believe that maybe this is like a replacement for just sitting Pokemon in the daycare. Obviously, you'll still have your daycare for breeding and all that. Like without question, there's no ifs and or buts about it. There we go. I was trying to find that line. But this will be more of like an incentive type of daycare where your only purpose of putting your Pokemon in there isn't just to breed. Because obviously, when you're putting your Pokemon into breed, into the daycare in general, and you're trying to level them that way, it is not the most effective way to level your Pokemon, like, at all.
No EVs or
no
anything
EV,
like that,
no EVs at all, and then like it can just replace moves like with random ones. It doesn't have like a priority system on what to replace, and like you could just completely bust something that you actually needed for your build, or that type of thing. But at least, like, if you're leveling Pokemon by doing this, you are still getting something out of it other than experience, like the rare items and stuff like that. And, I mean, it's sort of akin to, systems like, even in Smash Brothers recently, where you could send spirits off into caverns to go find items and etc. You know what I mean?
It's very much the same thing.
It's very much the same thing in that regard. So, I think that's good. If this is like the primary system, and by the sounds of it, like, obviously you can have more than 2 Pokemon, which would be pretty awesome. This would be a good way to sort of set your Pokemon, leave them, you go off and do whatever. You don't have to run around so much. They kind of just do the job while you're doing whatever, which I think is great.
Yeah, it's very mobile game-esque, sort of like leave them to do something and certain time passes and then they get the experience, you get the items back.
Yeah.
And I quite like that itch scratched in this game.
Yeah.
So like you go up to your PC, which is now the Rotom PC. Rotom's like inhabited the PC like he has inhabited most things in this game. Whether it's the drone for the cameras and Pokedex and everything. Yeah. The Rotom phone. Like, everything's Rotom now. God.
Yeah, Rotoms and everything.
Yeah, he's the Alexa of the real world.
Yeah, exactly right.
The Pokemon world, not the real world. I wish it was the real world. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It actually harkens back to Sun and Moon a little bit with Poke Paradise, I guess. Like, Poke Paradise had similar systems in it. Even though, like, Poke Paradise was okay. It didn't really spark anyone's flavor for life or anything like that, but you kind of you kept a check on it and did whatever. It was a good way to get shiny Pokemon sometimes, and sometimes Pokemon that you just couldn't straight out find. But like, apart from that, unless you wanted anything specific from it, there's
always a method like sort of like this in most Pokemon games, whether it's getting Pokemon with special abilities or something like that. Black and White, we saw it with like the Dream, was it called the Dreamscape or Dream something?
Yeah.
And every game's had this type of thing, and this looks like a nice, just pretty basic version of that, which I'll be keen to do. Like, sort of playing through the game, and you've got your team of 6. Like, you won't be putting like your good Pokemon in there, but so when you finish the game, and you might get a couple of level 100s, and you can put them in there and let them do their thing.
That's right.
Instead of just having it sitting in the PC.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'd be cool if there's actually a good reason to be like, oh, this is another thing I can do with Pokemon once I've finished with them, when I'm not using them in a competitive battle, rather than just sitting in the PC.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Also, before we cap off this and move on to like the bulk, I just want to say, they brought my fetus baby back.
I did.
So he is in the game. They brought my fetus baby back. Welcome back, Rioniclus. I love you. You will be on my team.
You're happy to see him?
Yes.
So as soon as I saw him, Bryce will be happy.
I'm very happy, because I was very adamant that they were not going to bring this thing back, and I love that Pokemon. Rioniclus is like one of my favorite designs from Gen 5, and Gen 5 is pretty much my favorite Pokemon set of games, with the exception of maybe Gold, Silver, Crystal, which is, I would put them in a tie at this point. So
that's cheating.
I don't care if it's cheating. It's really hard. Okay, like,
the weak make a decision.
You have you have a huge region, or you have literally the best story in any of the games. Like a huge place to explore or a shit ton of good story. It's really hard to choose. So, I was happy to see him back. He's Bede's Pokemon, or Bades, or whatever I called him. It's really hard to pronounce his name. It's just Bede. So it could be Bede, it could be Bade, it could be Bede. We don't know.
King Dedede.
King Bededede. So, I brought this little suggestion up to you, because we like the Pokemon designs, at least like the Galarian forms we've seen, and we're happy to see them back. We've obviously seen new Pokemon designs come out already that sort of relate around to like English culture, like Yamper and such.
The Queen loves her dogs.
The Queen does love her dogs, and they had to represent the Corgi, alright? That's just how the way it was. But with these Galarian forms, we've seen obvious nods to bigger cultural references and stuff like that, whether it be throughout history, like it was with Weezing and the Industrial Revolution, or the Zigzagoon line and the punk rock scene, which was obviously huge in England back when... in
the 70s.
70s, yeah.
60s.
Yeah. 70s, 80s, yeah.
Around there.
I think it was late 70s.
That three decades.
Yeah, at this point, wow, that's nuts. Wow, it's nuts to think it's been that long.
Long before us.
Yeah, but I used to listen to songs like that when I was a kid, and it's
Oh,
this was made 10 years ago. I'm like, wow, this song is old.
Yeah.
And now it's like nearly 30 years. I'm like, oh boy. I'm getting old. So I guess the thing I wanted to discuss is how we've seen some creative designs just with 2 sets of Pokemon in Lanoon and Weezing, but I would love to see a lot of these new Galar forms coming out, and thank God they're not just Gen 1 this time. But think of the possibilities of that you could implement English culture into Galarian forms. So I've had a thought. I've had a bit of a think about it, and the one thing that really popped to mind is I want to see Togedemaru as a soccer ball. He's almost already there. He's got brown and yellow spikes. He's a ball shape. That's enough said. Just turn him white and black. He's a soccer ball. He's a soccer ball Pokemon. You turn him into a rock type if you want, or a pure steel.
You don't think something like Voltorb or that would get like a...
No, just leave the Gen 1 now. Like I'm very impressed with Galarian Weezing, but I don't really want to see too much more Gen 1 Galarian forms.
Yeah, no,
because
I
we
agree. Yeah.
already have a bunch of Alolan Gen 1 forms, and they had a reason for that, and that was that the closest region to Alola is Kanto.
Yeah, that was the reason they set up anyway. Yeah.
That was the reason that they had set up, and like even in the anime, that's true to life and all that stuff. So that's the reason they set up for the Alolan forms being pretty much, well, they were particularly Gen 1. But obviously with this, they're going a different direction. They're like, there's a ton we could do with this, and like obviously it's a good idea, so they're rolling with it. So I would love to see something like Togedemaru even just get like that. You know, have this ball Pokemon that's literally just a soccer ball, and you could turn its typing into like, would it stay Electric Rock? Imagine if it was like Electric Rock, then it'd just be like a big old Mario Strikers reference.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, charge it up and
boom. Yeah.
And what would its place be in the world? Would it be like there's a soccer game going on?
Probably a mascot of some kind, I would say.
And they're not just kicking this Pokemon around?
No. I don't think they'd kick the Pokemon around. I think like it'd be like the perfect sort of little mascot for just the like the stadium battle type of deal. If that makes enough sense. You know, and like this, it's the chairman's Togedemaru or something. You know, it's the little mascot of the place. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
The other thing I can't really see escaping is some sort of like fish and chips reference.
And who's going to get the fish and chips?
I mean, that's the problem. This is where I run into a bit of a problem because there is a ton of Pokemon that could fit that category.
Just like fish and it's dead and it's fried. It's like, here you go.
No, I'm thinking more like you could have what's its face, Wishy-Washy, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got its weak form. It's just as it is, pretty much. It's just like little fish. And then it gets surrounded by like sea anemones that look like chips.
This is awful.
No, just think about it. No, I just feel like there's like a lot you can do with Galar forms, and I think like you can go as crazy as you want with them, and that's how like you end up with stuff like Top Hat Weezing, for fuck's sake, or you know, Pug Rock Lanoon, Zigzagoon line.
Yeah, I'm just sort of looking through like the Pokemon list now, like what I could see. It'd be cool to get like because when I saw Zigzagoon, I'm like, yes, like Hoenns getting represented. It'd be cool to see more Hoenn Pokemon. Like a Pokemon that's pretty popular would be like Ralts, like Curlier and Gardevoir. What could you do with them? You could do like they've already got like 2 evolutions, but you could have like almost like a queen version of it, a royal version of Gardevoir.
Providing that you could have a lot of things when it comes to this, because obviously, like throughout history, England, Ireland, Scotland, they've all had like a big relationship. Nothing saying that it has to be specifically England related.
Yeah,
it just has to be sort of within that region, because obviously throughout history, those 3 countries have had like huge influences on each other and like how they operate and all that stuff. So you could have like a Gardevoir that's like that's got a kilt, for example.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sort of thing, and it could be essentially like a God, what do you call it? Highland Dancer type of deal, and you could change its like typing to something similar to what Galar's is, but it's Gardevoir.
Yeah, Galad could have it like a kilt, and Gardevoir could. Yeah,
they both wear kilts.
Yeah,
actually, I mean, my mother used to do Highland dancing. I don't know.
Yeah. Just talking about that actually, like with the. With like the Scotland influence. Once if you had like a Loudred, but it was a big what's the instrument called? It's escaped my mind. Bagpipe. It was a big bagpipe.
Big bagpipe. Yeah.
And Weezing could have worked as a bagpipe.
Yeah.
But like Loudred had been like the sound Pokemon. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
Instead of like like the ears, he could have like the spokes or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
For the thing.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That could be a really cool one.
Yeah, for sure. What else? I think...
What typing would it be, though?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like we need to come up with typings for these as well, and sort of like mini explanations. So I reckon that's what we'll do.
So yeah, Whismer, Exploud? What his name now?
Whismer, Loudred, and Exploud.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so all of them, like I guess a Scottish form, sort of based on the bagpipes. Yeah. And
did its typing change over the years?
No,
at all. It's always remained normal.
I believe so.
I feel like you could make it a fairy type in there somewhere.
You could just put fairy type on everything.
Well, I mean, it's still one of the more like unrepresented types. I feel like so like I feel like you could definitely fit it in there somewhere. The problem is like sound. What can you relate sound to? What else uses sound in Pokemon? You've got Noivern, so that's dragon. I don't think it'd work as a dragon.
Probably you could even like it could be like a big water bagpipe or something like that. Not necessarily water, but it could be like an electric bagpipe or
grass. That would kind of make a lot of sense, actually, given Scottish history. Like you had the battle of what was it called? God, it escapes me. There was a battle between the redcoats and the blue. In a marsh. I can't remember what the marsh was called though.
So I guess the backstory could be they've been to a lot of music festivals throughout the years, like in the paddocks, and spent a lot of time in the grass.
I was thinking more of a war march, you know?
A war march, Jesus.
Well, yeah, because like no, I'm trying. It's really doing my head in. There's this war that was between the English, supported by the French, and the rebels, and it was done in a marsh. I can't remember the exact name of the war, but like when the Scottish went to battle in it, the Scottish allied with the rebels. So they would have had the bagpipes and stuff like that. You know, they do that whole traditional, like march of war type of deal. So like it would make sense for them to be sort of grass because, you know, a lot of like all those battles in Scottish history took place on the plains. You know, kind of makes a lot of sense, I guess. Yeah, and then you could have trying to think of like moves you could associate with it too.
You could even like make it a ground type or something.
Even, yeah. There's no reason it couldn't happen. I feel like there's like a lot you can sort of attribute with it. That's the thing with like all these good cultural references coming out of these forms. Is there's so much you can do.
It'd be really cool. Like, so this is my idea for a Swablu and Altaria. So Altaria is a dragon flying.
Yep.
And it's wrapped itself in a cloud. That's what its wings are made out of.
Yeah.
What about if that cloud was thunder? So it's a dragon electric type.
Mm-hmm.
That could be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like one of the Pokemon in the skies, which is like you see like a rain cloud come over. It's probably like a swarm of Altaria.
Yeah,
that could be cool.
That would be cool. What else? I want a leprechaun. I want a leprechaun.
Okay.
I want a leprechaun representation, but there's so many Pokemon.
Do you reckon that would be best fitted for a brand new Pokemon, or you would like to see another Pokemon just like chucked in some clothes?
I mean, the thing is, it's like a lot of things that can be represented by new Pokemon. Obviously, we've got like the Queen's puppies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have like a more royal-ish type of Pokemon come out. But I would like to speculate that none of these new Pokemon actually exist, and that they were put into Galar forms.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, man.
Yeah. Because obviously there's going to be at least a decent handful of them. I don't think it's just going to stop with just 2, because if it does just stop with just 2, then why? What was the point? So
there'll be like 15 or 20, including like all the evolutions, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Roughly the same as Alolan forms.
Oh, I'd love to see a Flabébé with a 4-leaf clover.
Oh yeah,
that would be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
hell yeah. And then let's see. I mean, it's already a fairy type, so it kind of already fits the bill. Maybe fairy grass. I don't know why I like grass, but it kind of makes enough sense, I guess.
You're just thinking of open fields. Like
I am
grass.
thinking of open fields because, like, when you think of like, not so much England, but definitely Ireland and Scotland, like that's like what you think is the grassy open fields and all that nicety. So I think that kind of works in that sense.
Yeah.
I would love to see, but I feel like it's going to be represented, especially with like the looks in previous leaks, but like the MI6 type vibe.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see that represented in a Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be in the Galarian form. If anything, by the leaks, it's going to have something to do with Sobble.
Yeah.
So, I'm obviously not going to hold too much on that, but if there was a Pokemon that could utilize that, who would it be?
No, I'm thinking of like Squawk and those fighting Pokemon from Gen 5.
Sawk and Throw.
Yeah. You put like glasses on them and put suits on them.
Yeah, they don't look like MI6, they just look like the MIB.
Yeah, put some suits on those Muppets.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I could imagine as like secret agents. Yeah. What about Spiritomb?
Spiritomb.
It looks like pretty much the same, just with like with a moustache. Just put moustache on all of these Pokemon.
That's how you make it English, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Put a top hat on Spiritomb.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. How does it stay there? How did that boy get that top hat to stay there?
Because it's just got its base and it's got like the projection at the top.
Yeah.
And you could just imagine like you put a moustache on it and it just falls onto the base. So all the stuff's just sitting on that and just
beautiful.
Makes no sense.
What
about a Bomber Snow? You could do something cool with him, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably like...
He's already got a moustache though, so that's out of the question, Bryce.
Well, I mean, the other thing is the other problem is that like Mega Evolutions don't exist anymore. He had one, right? So like he had a really cool...
The sort of the rumors are that Pokemon that had Mega Evolutions are pretty much going to be their Gigantamax forms now.
Probably.
That's sort of the form, because I sort of like reuse it, and that's kind of fair enough.
I guess so.
A lot of these designs, you don't want them to go to waste.
Like Alchemy, how Alchemy sort of just like fucking turns into a giant ass fucking cake when it goes up. Yeah, I guess so.
So and they're also saying that like Charizard will be like a combination of Charizard X and Y together, which could be cool.
It might be
interesting to see.
We'll see.
It's definitely going to get a Gigantamax form because of its importance of like the main Pokemon for the champion.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that.
But he just has a Charizard.
Yeah, I feel like they could have made like a Galar Pokemon that's at least similar enough in the aesthetic to Charizard that it would be appealing enough to be like, hey, look, it's a new Pokemon. But
unless he's got like a backstory of being from Kanto, which we already know is not the case. So yeah,
true. Yeah,
we'll probably see some more Rotom forms. being like we're already seeing like Rotom forms in the actual world itself, whether it's like the drone for like the cameras and the Pokemon gyms and all that. But it would be cool to sort of maybe have some of these playable.
I think they might be. Like if Rotom has a form, it's more than definitely playable. You know, like if you can see it, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously not like Pokedex Rotom Go.
Yeah.
Go Pokedex Rotom. It's like, use your read attack.
just chuck your phone,
Ponyta.
chuck your phone out against a Tyranitar. It's like, ooh. All Tyranitar, that'd be an awesome regional variant.
Would be. It's too bad that we're going to get one in the game just as per normal.
Yeah, because he's already shown a fair bit, but
I would love to see like something that I really love from Gen 5 was seasonal changes. Like they had with Swordsbuck and stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to see stuff like that sort of come into play.
Yeah, wouldn't be bad.
I would love to see a Pokemon that changes with the seasons, just not what season you caught it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like this game is obviously putting importance on like what happens with the weather as well, especially in the wild area.
Yeah, that'll be a hard thing to do competitively though, because then you'll be like, all right, I've got to like change my clock so I can make it a grass type because I know I'm going up against water type.
Oh no, I'm not saying like it changes like everything about them, just like changes their sort of like their variant in general. Like for example, you could have a Galarian form that's like a Lilligant that changes
just its look essentially.
Changes its look, yeah. And based on like the season, and it could operate within real world times. You know,
that could be cool.
I think that'd be cool. Like even just having like aesthetic changes would be nice. I don't think like you have to go all balls out and like change everything about them. I feel like if you could have like an Alolan Lilligant, it's Galarian Lilligant, and it could be like yes, it could have its already own unique typing. So like.
Fire Steel.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Grass Bug, kind of like Leaveney was or something.
Yeah.
And then like, yes, it's still its own form. It's still unique, but it does change with the seasons as well, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. Just going back to Tyranitar, I was thinking since I just brought it up.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good because I was thinking about it as you were talking. Like with Wheezing, this is how Wheezing has evolved over time, and now this is the Wheezing in the Galar region. Yes. This is the only one you can catch. This is what they've become.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be cool? So, like something like Tyranitar. You've got Tyranitar as we know and love. We've already seen him in the trailers. That is going to be Tyranitar. But what about if a few Tyranitar was starting to sort of change and become this new species that will originally will be like the normal form in like years to come.
Yeah.
But they're like really rare. So like if you want a Galar Tyranitar or whatever it's going to be, like you can find them, but they're really rare. They're just like in this one spot.
Yeah.
And like in years to come, like you won't be able to get normal Tyranitar because they'll be extinct, essentially. That'll be a cool thing.
It would really be cool to catch like a Pokemon midway through its evolution of its species. Like the ability to catch a normal Tyranitar and have this Galar Tyranitar would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's just like...
It's like, where did you find this? Like, people don't know about it.
Yeah. Like, really discovering some Pokemon that have literally not been discovered. Not just like, oh, they have been discovered because they're in the region and people have them.
Yeah.
You know?
It might be something as simple as like, you know, you've got the Galar region, which is based on the UK, and you've got the climate, which is different to the climate back in Johto. But these like Larvitar might have grew up in this cave full of water, which turned them into like a water rock type.
Ice Dark.
Yeah, Ice Dark or something.
Ooh,
and
that'd be cool.
And that's only like in the one very specific cave because, you know, if it was out in the wild, it would have just grew up normally.
Yeah.
I think something like that could be really cool. Just because with like the Gigantamax thing, they've really like put emphasis on getting Pokemon that are rarer and can only do that if they meet like a certain
criteria.
Criteria.
Yeah.
So I think like putting emphasis on like rare Pokemon to go and get would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than just, hey, look, it's Wheezing, and I'm not going to be able to get a normal Wheezing because they're all like that here.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I really like that. I feel like there needs to be a horse Pokemon that has a variant as well.
I would always love to see like a Rapidash variant.
Yeah, so
I know that's a Gen 1.
Yeah, it is a Gen 1, but like we don't have a ton of horse Pokemon. We've got like, you know, Mudbray's, Lion, and
Yeah, and
Ponyta's line, and
they're all very different. Yeah,
they're all very different. I don't feel like,
and Rapidash does need a shake up too.
oh, big time.
Yeah,
because it's like one of the worst Pokemon in Gen 1.
Yeah,
like somehow it's like this magnificent Pokemon, and I absolutely love its design. It's very simple.
One of the coolest shinies.
Yeah,
with its blue flames.
Oh yeah, but it got its garbage.
Yeah, it's always been garbage. It was never good.
No, it was never good. And like something like this could be a good shake-up for it. I mean, even just like with Vulpix, when Vulpix got one. Vulpix and Ninetales, that line. That was cool.
Yeah, like Sandshrew and all of those Pokemon.
Sandshrew and Sandslash, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame sort of the Sandslash just wasn't good because of its typing, being Ice Steel. It was like, 4 times a week to so many Pokemon. Very common
Pokemon too, like fire types. Like
fire types, rock types, ground types. Yeah. It was I think there was another one in there somewhere. Doesn't matter though, but yeah. Ouchie. Unfortunate. Really cool design though.
Yeah, really cool design. Just yeah. Kind of like even a Alolan Graveler was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't a big fan of Alolan, like that line personally, like Alolan Golem.
I thought the aesthetic was pretty cool. It was basically like, hey, look, these Geodude are magnetized.
Yeah.
So they're electric typing now. It's like, that makes enough sense.
No, I like the concept as well, just like the actual design.
Yeah, they look a little bit weird, yes. But like, I feel like, I thought the big generator on the back of Golem's back was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I thought it was alright. What's wrong with that?
It just didn't do too much for me. I can't say I hated it. I'm just like, it didn't do much for me.
Something with a tea party aesthetic, which again I think would probably fit Lilligant really well.
You're a big Lilligant fan, aren't you?
I am a big Lilligant fan. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. But like, I feel like if the seasonal thing weren't to happen and we were supposed to get like a tea party sort of variant with a new design, that would probably go to Lilligant, unless you can think of something else.
And not particularly, probably any sort of grass type with a more feminine aesthetic.
More feminine aesthetic, maybe. Yeah, maybe. You could have the guard. Like, that's the thing. It's like a lot of these, like, sort of more humanoid-esque Pokemon could fit that aesthetic with, like, a very nice, pretty dress type of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that'd be really cool. Like, having something like that.
Got Baniri.
Actually, that's interesting, actually. I wonder if anything will happen to Baniri and Lopunny in this. I feel like they're popular enough Pokemon.
Very popular.
For the wrong reasons most of the times. Yeah. But I feel like they could probably do something with them that makes them a little bit more... Because they had good...
Give them thick thighs and then kick the crap out of you. Be a fighting type.
They already had that. It was a mega form.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like they could do something more with Baniri, Lopunny. Probably make them a bit more tame than what they already are.
I guess they'll be sticking... They might be sticking away from Pokemon that had mega evolutions.
Maybe.
So
maybe the problem is with the mega evolutions and stuff like that is that we don't know how many of them are actually going to return. If they do return in the Gigantamaxing, they might just scrap them completely.
Yeah, they might. Yeah,
and that would suck because like I feel like they've made all these Pokemon designs over the years that just
are gone. Yeah, I feel like with a Game Freak sort of need to like just recycle stuff, I don't think they're getting rid of them.
Maybe, yeah, maybe so. Yeah. I don't know. Could be wrong. I don't know.
Could be.
The more I think about it, like the more I want Megaforms back just as they were. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but if they do go into Gigantamaxing, I hope that they sort of still keep about them what was good. Maybe not Kangaskhan, because that was kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, Kangaskhan was real bullshit. That was like, hey, look, you get 2 attacks. If you use Power Up Punch, you pretty much get a Swords Dance. Like, what the fuck? You damage a Pokemon and get a Swords Dance? That's not fair. Like, what? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, can you think of any more before
we push on? Let's see. I feel like we've covered most 3 bases.
Yeah, I've got the ones I could think of anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I've got, like, personal favourite Pokemon of mine, like, Lapras, mentioned Tyranitar.
Yeah.
Heracross. Let's see a Heracross one. That could be cool.
Heracross would be nice.
Yeah.
Heracross could always have some love. He's just a cute little beetle boy.
It's really good. Because I had one in Heart Gold, and I actually love that thing. Just kick the crap out of everything.
Oh yeah, Heracross, great Pokemon.
Yeah, one of my favourites.
I love that boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything else?
Not anything that comes to mind, but I do want to open this discussion up to people who are in the Discord, even. Or if you're following us on Twitter, if you feel like you've got an idea for a regional variant, you should let us know. I would like to hear that. I would really like to hear them. Because, Alolan forms, obviously, they're pretty good for the most part. And then, Galarian forms, what we've seen so far, are, spot on. They're like, oh, look, there's some history there. And, I really like that. I think that brings out a lot of character in the region, just shaping up Pokemon to be more attuned to what that is. What the region is and what it's meant to be about, sort of thing. Just
put a chimney and a moustache and everything.
Chimney and a moustache, and hand everybody a teacup. For God's sake, give your Pokemon tea. All right. What? All right.
Would you like to take this conversation anywhere else, Bryce, or would you like to wrap it up?
I do want to have a bit of a TLDR. In that, there are things I am positive about this game, and this is definitely one of them. And I'm not a negative Nancy all the time about everything, but if they do keep up the speed in releasing good things, that is going to make me happy enough with the purchase of the game.
Yeah.
But I do want to see everything reverted in the future, and we have all these Pokemon available to us in one game. That would be brilliant.
Yep.
But if they do make cool designs like this and ideas and stuff like that, that would be fantastic. If they just keep pushing that stuff out, making the game look even better, I'll play it. I mean, I think this trailer sort of grabbed me a little bit by surprise.
Yeah,
a little bit. I think there was some cool stuff in there where you could just be like, "That's pretty neat."
Well, let's be honest. Everything they've sort of shown with the game, especially with the designs of the Pokemon and the human characters, I think they've nailed it all. As far as character design goes.
Oh, yeah.
There's not one Pokemon where I'm like, oh, it looks bad or it looks boring. Yeah. I think there's Impidimp that was shown in the E3 demo. That's one Pokemon I'm like, oh, that looks weird. And I don't particularly like it. But at the same time, I don't hate it either. No, I'm not too worried about it. But all the official ones they've officially released, Wooloo and I've forgotten their names, so I'm not going to bring it up. But I really like them all.
Yeah. Design-wise, I think the Pokemon so far are pretty decent.
Yeah.
Obviously that's what the game's about. Is the Pokemon. It's not so much about what textures the trees have on them or that type of thing. And
personally, all of that.
I don't. Yeah, look, I don't give a shit about that. Whenever we talk negatively about Pokemon, it's usually because of the national decks, and it's the sole reason that I'm 50-50 in the first place. Is that it's the national dex is gone. It's not about all this other crap that people keep spouting on about, because at the end of the day, you're not playing for the overworld. You're playing for the Pokemon battles.
Yeah.
You're not going to fucking see that tree all the time. It's not going to be your main objective.
And I never noticed until someone zoomed up on it. I'm like, yeah, that tree does look a bit...
It does look a bit iffy. It looks like Ocarina of Time-ish, yes. Yeah. And, I get that.
And there have been comparisons, graphics-wise, from, trailer, back at E3 to, the last one and now. Mm-hmm. But the graphics are improving as the game's going on.
Yeah.
They're not out yet.
Yeah, they're not finished with it yet. They will be probably October.
Yeah.
And that's when they'll start pushing it out and having it ready to ship and everything. But in saying that, that is the only thing I'm upset about. Pretty much everything else about the game so far, I'm just yes, we need that. With the the max raid battles, end game content, and all that stuff, and them trying to build a decent end game, that's good.
Yeah,
I love that. And I do want some really good multiplayer experiences that isn't just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I like cooperative play, so that really does work for me. And yeah, I guess this episode, I just wanted to highlight that there are things I'm happy about, and this is definitely one of them.
We're happy about most of it, let's be honest. We're happy about most of it. It's just there's one huge glaring issue. Glaring issue.
And that's why we had an whole episode about it, because at the end of the day, we've been playing Pokemon since we were little. And I feel like...
We talked about it all last week. We talked about the Game Boy, and that Pokemon was
Pokemon
majority
was a
of what it was on
huge
that.
part of the Game Boy.
Yeah.
And even in the DS's lifetime, it was a huge part of that as well.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I wasn't the biggest Diamond Pearl Platinum fan, like Gen 5 obviously was, that was my, draw. I love that. So, yeah, I think that pretty much about wraps it up for us anyway.
Yeah. Yes, it does. All right, bro. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. No, seriously, like when I was looking at it last night, I'm like, that's awesome. And I've been sent memes from Riley all day comparing Weezing to Doug Dimmadome with the Dimsdale Dimmadome, which is great. Like that's what I love, is like the stuff like that that's come out of it. People are turning Weezing into a bong, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on, guys. You can see it's a chimney.
It's definitely a chimney. Please don't turn it into a bong.
Like,
I mean, it's funny.
yeah.
But like, there are literal flat out articles if you Google Pokemon news. If you literally just Google Pokemon news and hit the news button, and people are just like, there are literally articles that says Pokemon's newest Pokemon is a bong and fans are crazy over it. I'm like, first of all, it's not a new Pokemon. It's a regional variant. Second of all, it's absolutely not a bong. It has a mustache and has a top hat. It is like a big wig in Industrial Revolution.
To be fair, it's a fairy type and it's purifying that gas. So if you just wrap your lips around that big old chimney of his and suck it up, who knows how you'll be feeling afterwards. Maybe you should give it a go when the game's released.
Christ.
Everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 111. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe on your podcast player of choice and leave us a cheeky iTunes review or whatever on your platform of choice. Bryce, where can they find you on Twitter?
At Ivy Revan.
And you can find me at Odruby, and you can find the show at the House of Mario. And if you'd like to sort of talk about Pokemon with us and all that fun stuff, there is a link to our Discord in the show notes below.
Yes, please leave your Galar Regent variants in there. I want to hear them.
You want to hear them? Or do you want to read them? Do you want someone to leave a voice message for you?
Look, just post them in any way you want to, alright? I'm sick of like drawing down to your nicheties you've got in your own little head here, where you're just like, oh, you mean read them because we're on a text channel.
Oh.
Like,
sorry, mate.
Show it up your bum.
Oh. I'll tell you what, I'm blushing over here. And if you'd like to support the show a little bit more, go and check out patreon.com/iDruby. We've got cool tiers over there, including access to exclusive podcasts, being able to be a part of the House of Mario skit and all of that. So if you'd like to go and look at that, that's patreon.com/iDruby.
For sure.
And Bryce, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Sayonara.